Kindred here, 2v2 faction battle tournament. It's round 1, game 3 and Judgment of Carrion. Blue team for Chaos, we have Chaos Librarian playing a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive and disruptive commander that fights in melee combat. Really good spells to use. Alongside Crazyman is a Plague Champion that starts off range combat with his damage over time bolter, can get melee weapons, good versatility but is slow, can build turrets and repair. Red team for Eldar, Adila switching to the Farseer for this last game, support commander that fights in melee combat, really good buffs and some debuffs too, I should say. Alongside GiDDoLo switching back to his Warlock, melee commander with great mobility, can also disrupt and tank damage really well. Going toe to toe with the Chaos Sorcerer here, gets a special attack and the Sorcerer is going to try and cap, I think, yes. No natural VPs on this map. North to south they run. Kicking off in the south, Howling Banshees scaring off CSM, but here come Heretics. And that's a wise retreat and a very strange retreat from Adila's Howling Banshees. Waited around a bit for some reason. 496, 500. Dire Avengers taking his garrison here. Mid is red, north is blue, and looks like south is gonna turn blue as well unless the Farseer can stop it here using fleet. She has good mobility herself also. Chaos Space Marine is getting Eternal War for Crazyman. Seems to get that upgrade very early in his builds. Paid off reasonably well for him so far. 496, 500. There's the 1-to-1 very early on. Aspect is up for the Dire Avengers. There's a plasma grenade, but it's dodged. Have struggled to really hit nasty plasma grenades in this game, in these games I should say. The Eldar team, really good awareness from the Chaos players. Warlock being a nuisance and decapping, then fleets away. 496, 500. Chaos Sorcerer scaring off Banshees, but Dire Avengers are decapping north. We do have two contested powers in the north and south edges, and a single natural power for both teams, with another contested in the mid. 496, 500. Still a 1-to-1 cap. The same build for the Chaos players. Chaos Space Marines into some more Heretics. Aspiring Champion already up for these guys. And already up for Crazyman as well. Guardian weapon teams for both Eldar players after the Howling Banshees, and some more Dire Avengers for GiDDoLo. 496, 500, still the 1-to-1 cap. South now being decapped by the Farseer. North is being capped by Chaos Space Marines. Heretics not taking the opportunity to decap mid. 493, 500. There's a shuriken set up with this suppression platform. We do have grenade launcher Heretics up, and there is the disruptive grenade barrage, but can he capitalize on it? Because here come Howling Banshees and it looks like he can't. The Guardian weapon team will just set up again. The Plague Champion himself can do reasonably well just shooting up a setup team from his maximum range, since even when he's suppressed he still shoots at the same rate. If he's isolated with a setup team, he can take models off it that way. 487, 489. There's the single for Chaos. There's a double for Chaos. It's going to be a 2-to-1 here in game 3. Farseer getting the Armor of Fortune will allow her to support her Howling Banshees a bit better. Already starts off with Guide, buffing damage. I think it buffs damage by 40%, isn't it? Or is it 30? Anyway, it's awesome. There's some Zinch worship. Heretics with an aspiring champion, but they've lost the model. Howling Banshees have seen them. There's the war shout, and there's Doombots going in. Dangerous engagement, and none of these Dire Avengers have an aspect. I was gonna say, are we gonna see a nasty retreat grenade spike, but he couldn't throw any, and the Sorcerer goes down. There is an attempt. Nice try by Adila, couldn't quite hit it perfectly, and the Merciless Switchblade Warlock will decap the wreck point again. Howling Banshees are going to attempt to power harass. They're going to take down this generator. It looks like they were harassed it before, and Chaos might get a triple here. 487, 443. Mid is kicking off. Dire Avengers in retreat. North being capped by Banshee. Havoc's on the way for Chaos Librarian, and the Eldar players with the same build. Dire Avengers after the Guardian weapon team, the Plague Champion going for Blight Grenades again. which did reasonably well for him first game, or sorry, I should say the second game, the previous game to this, and revives the Chaos Sorcerer for a level 2. 487, 417. Heretics trying to take back that node. There's a 2-to-1 Eldar. Howling Banshees in retreat, jumping over stuff with the aspect of fleetness. It's close so far, it's tense. But look at this harassment here from Adila. This is brutal stuff. Locked in base by this Guardian Weapon team. Has double Aspiring Champion Heretics, I think, so has no real way to deal with the Shuriken. But here comes a flank from Crazyman. Does he have the... He does have Citadel of the Rift, so he does now have a way to deal with it. 487, 395. Warlock going absolutely mental, leaping into combat passively, knocking stuff down and killing models left and right. Look at this. Level 2. Up to 724 hit points without an armor upgrade. There's a special attack sending stuff flying. 480, 395. That Merciless Switchblade is not a power weapon. I think it's about 64 DPS or something like that. Someone can correct me. Does drain energy though, and has that knockback ranged attack, which we haven't really seen that much in this matchup. 464, 395. There's the triple cap for the Eldar. Farseer also decapping stuff in the mid. She has that Armor of Fortune. Havocs are up on the northern side. It's a pretty decent map for setup teams, since you have these reasonably narrow passageways. Chaos Sorcerer knocked down. Here come Aspiring Champion Heretics under Zinch Worship, giving them infiltration. They run right into a Plasma Grenade though. Beautifully done by Adila. Wow, wiped all of them but the Aspiring Champion himself, and that's going to be a lot. No, they didn't get away with a single model as well. A single Heretic alongside. 421, 395 is 13 requisition to reinforce a Heretic, which is not a whole lot. But still, if you lose tons of them, it can put a toll on your economy. Raptors jumping in. These are Crazymans chopping up the Guardian Weapon Team squad, but didn't take a model off them. Now trying to take this south power again. 418, 395. Plague Champion level 2. There's the Black Grenade toss. And Banshees go right into it. And in fact walk right through it. Adila has finally noticed, and look at the damage it can do if the player is not aware. 418, 386. Continues to use the Black Grenades well. I still think the Icon of Nogel is the superior choice though. Especially against Banshees. You can get the Fist, Pestilence, Icon. Does make your Plague Champion very expensive, but so difficult to deal with for the Banshees. 418, 365. This is Sigil of the Rift, Warped Rift again, but it doesn't hit anything. Here comes Crazyman with the flank. I quite like this 2v2 map actually. Shame it's not played more often. 418, 353. There is a single cap for Chaos. These guys do not have aspects, so we're not going to see a nasty grenade there, but are forced off. Chaos Librarian forcing off Howling Banshees. 418, 343. Here comes the Warlock. Chopping up Heretics. Needs to be careful though, and does retreat. South turning red, finally. It's been back and forth down here. This node constantly changing hands. A Web Gate is going up for Adila. Eldar team already tier 2. Chaos team almost there, and we have a Falcon on the field for GiDDoLo. Used it, I think, so well in the first game. 418, 328. It's a 1-to-1 cap. Chaos Librarian now needs to think about vehicle counters as he goes into tier 2. And he's going for a hard vehicle counter. A Mark of Zinch Havoc squad. They will get a las cannon. 418, 328. Will lose his suppression. So we need to rely on the Heretics to perhaps stop the Howling Banshees. Falcon is wandering close, cannot see any of this stuff because it's infiltrated, can now see the Chaos Space Marines though. Howling Banshees moving in with Aspect of Fleetness and their X-Up, but they are stopped in their tracks by Robes of Torment, Chains of Torment, and a las cannon is going to finish off this Falcon. I think one more shot, down it goes. GiDDoLo was trying to repair it. That didn't last long, did it? Really nice Zinch usage of worship there. 409328. Las Cannon snaring the vehicle as it was trying to back off. If you're wondering why it was slower. Shuriken Cannon sets up, firing up, completely covering this approach. And now this Las Cannon is reasonably useless. GiDDoLo though, replacing his Falcon, so maybe not. 398, 328, now he knows to look out for the Las Cannon, especially an infiltrated Las Cannon. This Webway Gate is here. Crazyman spots it, thanks to this aspiring champion from the Heretics. 390, 328, there's the 2-to-1 cap for the Eldar Blood Crusher on the way for Chaos Librarian. Maybe he can support this thing in the same way that he supports his Markov Pawn Dreadnoughts. Get out of trouble when needed. Here we see the infiltration Webway Gate ability from the Farseer's Webway Gates, and look at that fleet of foot getting in there with the Gravity Blades Levitation Field. That is awesome play from Adila. Crazyman just was not expecting that, and that is devastating stuff. Wow. Wipes a Heretic squad. Also has the Runes of Reaping, buffing her energy regeneration and decreasing cooldown by 25%. There's a nice Blight Grenades again from Crazyman, infecting all of this stuff. But looks like it's going to get away reasonably fine. 331, 328, there's a triple cap. Blood Crusher trying to make itself a nuisance. There is Robes of Torment, Chains of Torment again. 316, 328, Blood Crusher taking shots from the Falcon but doing okay. Chaos Space Marines decapping mid. Triple cap for Eldar at the moment. Plague Champion moves forward and decaps the south. That Webway Gate is still there though, so Adila can hit him right back. Down in Banshees reinforcing back at base level 2. GiDDoLo's are still level 1. Both with the aspect of fleetness allows them to leap over cover, as you can see, and makes the Exarch into a power melee monster with almost 54 power melee DPS by herself. Kicking off in the south, Webway Gate used, and a beautiful Blight Grenade again is going to wipe the Shuriken. Nicely done again by Crazyman. Waiting for them to get out of the Webway Gate, and threw that Blight Grenade on. For some reason Adila unable to get the Guardian Weapon team back into the Webway Gate, and loses a whole bunch of stuff. Wow. Lost a Dire Avenger squad as well. That's a bad engagement. 292, 317. Level 3, very nearly level 4 Plague Champion. Bright Lance takes that garrison. Blood Crusher can't really be touched by those Dire Avengers, just ignores them. Marcos Zinch CSM getting shots on the Falcon, don't do a lot of damage to vehicles though. 292, 317 Bloodletters teleporting in. They have power melee but will put pressure on a vehicle with rear armor hits. And GiDDoLo's tier 3 has the energy field up. Adila also tier 3, and there is the levitation field again. Really nice to see that thing used. Really nice to see a Farseer used, in fact. 292, 317. Here comes the Blood Crusher, or not. Bright Lance unable to get shots on it from that range. There was another Blight Grenade throw, but this stuff can reinforce off of the Falcon if it does lose the models. 292, 317. Has had a couple of very, very nice throws from the Blight Grenades. Level 4 Plague Champion. Adila with almost level 3 Howling Banshees. Kicking off in mid. Heretics taking unnecessary damage here by Chaos Librarian. He really wanted to finish that cap, I suppose. 292, 309. Down goes the Falcon. It was the Las Cannon, I think. Maybe the Blood Crusher had a hand in it as well. Blood Crusher is a demon, so does benefit greatly from worship. But the Heretics are in retreat. There's the 2-to-1 for Chaos. Might get a triple here though, Eldar. Or maybe not. Crazyman is pushing south again, but he's not decapping it. I think these Raptors are supposed to be doing that. 290, 298. Crazyman hasn't noticed. Going after this mid power. Lots and lots of generators built on contested power on this map. And those Raptors are still not capping. Big engagement in mid again. 274, 298. There's the triple cap for the Eldar. And levitation field again. Really nice usage of it. by Adila to counter the Bloodletters and those heretics. Chaos Librarian losing his Blood Crusher. I think the Howling Banshee is responsible, taking it down with their power melee weapon, I'm not sure though. And that Mark of Khorne Chaos Dreadnought that Chaos Librarian so likes to use is up. Tier 3 for Crazyman. Avatar of Cain on the way for Adila. Can they deal with this thing? It's going to be tough. There's another Black Grenade. Howling Banshees get away without a model loss. You see what I mean? A good throw. But as soon as stuff starts leveling up, it's just going to make things retreat, pretty much. I think it's, which I suppose is not too bad. Levitation Field throws the Plague Champion clear and just about stops the cap in time as well. Farseer herself is level 3, Warlock level 3, Sorcerer level 2, Plague Champion level 4. 208298. Farseer backs off. She did finish the cap though. There's the 1-to-1. Chaos taking mid, and Chaos might get a triple here. Avatar, wow, double avatars on the way. Crazyman hits tier 3, has enough red for Terminators. Could save it for an Abyss though. Do they have any anti-vehicle? They do have a Bright Lance to deal with that Dreadnought. But other than that, going to rely on the avatars smacking it up. And here is the first one, super unit for Eldar. Powerful in melee combat with powerful killy abilities as well. Passively buffs all nearby allied infantry, kicking off in mid. 208258. Bright Lance is set up but gets rifted out. I thought it was in retreat there, maybe it wasn't. Heretics trying to chase it down. These heretics with the Doom Blast can't quite finish it off, or can they? There's Dark Flames in retreat path. But I don't think it's going to be enough. 208237. Heretics now catching Dire Avengers in retreat path. Double Heretics working out well for Chaos Librarian in this game. There is Wrath of Cain, but it's going to miss everything. Farseer capping the south. Fire Prism on the way, and GiDDoLo's avatar is up. 208235. Have 2 avatars to deal with. It's not going to be easy. Chaos Dreadnought charging around, hasn't leveled yet. 1200 hit points to start off. Bloodletters teleporting somewhere. Where did they go? After the Howling Banshees were trying to hit power here. Special attacks going off because the Howling Banshees were moving. And they get into the webway gate. Here come Marco Zinch. Chaos Space Marines haven't leveled. 192235. There's Blood Rage on the Mark of Khorne Dreadnought. Doing some serious DPS to the avatar. Has 5,600 hit points of super heavy infantry armor. So those Marco Zinch CSM are really going to help out versus it. Las Cannon will get shots as well, and it will snare the avatar. Behaves like a vehicle in that regard. Here come those CSM. Dreadnought taking big chunks of damage from the avatar, and there's a Wailing Doom. Dreadnought in trouble. Las Cannon getting shots though, and Dreadnought is teleported out by Chaos Librarian. And Chaos Librarian has tons of resources. Hasn't gone tier 3 though. Fire Prism is up for Adila. Really good fire support for Eldar. And this might be tricky for Crazyman to deal with. Raptors jumping in with their Demon Maul. 90-25 to get this thing on the field. 45 power melee DPS with the Demonic Strength, or Demonic Fury as it's actually called. 162.35 gives you that 15% chance of knockback as well. Bloodletters teleporting into the rear armor hits of the Fire Prism, putting pressure on it. 148.235. Here comes the avatar back to help though. There's a Wailing Doom. Almost hit his own Fire Prism, was perfectly timed but doesn't hit any enemies either. 134.235. Dreadnought smacking stuff up. Las Cannon trying to shoot the Warlock, which is not going to work out. And we have Plague Marines on the field for the Chaos Librarian. We'll put some pressure on the avatar with those snaring missile launchers. Middle is uncapped and very, very quiet. Eldar have the double. 106.235. Looking good for them. Crazyman is just struggling to deal with the Fire Prism and the Avatar at the same time. He has some Plague Marines of his own though. 292, 235, there's the double cap. Chaos Dreadnought needs some repairs, but looks like he's going to make do without it for now. Bright Lance is going to get rifted again. No, looks like it was cancelled by the Chaos Sorcerer or something. Not sure what happened there. 70, 235, double cap for the Eldar team. Might get a triple. Something is mid trying to cap, that's for sure. Bright Lance now getting shots on that Dreadnought, and look at the DPS that it does. 54, 235. There is the triple. Avatar now in play. Takes out a Heretic with an elaborate sync kill. Marcus Link Space Marines need to be very careful. Plague Marines are getting shots on, but it looks like the Eldar team are going to take this. 29, 235. Fire Prism getting shots. Crazyman unable to push against it. Very, very difficult to maneuver yourself on this map with the narrow passageways. There's an Abyss, but it's not going to do anything drastic. 7, 235. There's the double cap. Bloodletter's trying to cap mid. Getting chopped up by Banshees though. Look at the north. And there is the victory for Adila and GiDDoLo. They win the matchup 2-1 and progress to the quarterfinals. Nice play all round in all three games. Really enjoyed this matchup. And look at this Blight Grenade usage from Crazyman, making me eat my words somewhat. Thank you for watching, guys. I will see you next time, and I'll see you in the next game.